There are coins that are rare. And then there are coins that feel impossible. A small copper disc. 1 cent in value. But hidden within its letters, a mistake so bold, so undeniable, that it transformed an ordinary year into one of the greatest mysteries in American coinage. This is the story of the 1958 double-die Obverse cent. A coin that should not exist, yet somehow does. In 1958, the United States Mint was closing a chapter of history. For nearly half a century, pennies had carried the wheat ears design, a symbol of growth, resilience, and a young nation finding its identity. Millions of coins were struck that year, each one identical, each one routine, each one destined to disappear quietly into circulation. No one expected anything unusual. But inside the minting process, something subtle occurred, not a dramatic accident, not a visible failure, but a microscopic misalignment in the creation of a working die. And from that moment, history changed. To understand this coin, we must step inside the minting process. Coins are not struck directly from a master design. They are produced through a chain of hubs and dies, each step transferring the design into hardened steel. If that transfer shifts even slightly between impressions, the design is engraved twice. Not side by side. Not smeared. But duplicated. When such a die strikes a coin, every letter appears bold, separated, and unmistakably doubled. This is not damage. It is not wear. It is a permanent fingerprint of the mint itself. In 1958, one such die was created, a die that would strike only a tiny number of coins before disappearing into obscurity. Years passed. Millions of wheat cents circulated unnoticed. The world moved on. The wheat design was retired forever in 1959. Then collectors began noticing something extraordinary. On a few rare coins dated 1958, the lettering was not normal. Liberty appeared thick and split. In God We Trust looked almost echoed. Even the date showed strong, unmistakable duplication. This was not subtle. It was dramatic. Visible to the naked eye. The discovery shocked the numismatic community. A double die from the final year of the wheat cent was already surprising, but what stunned collectors even more was the extreme rarity. Only a handful were known. Not hundreds. Not dozens. Just a few survivors of a mistake no one expected. Most double dies enter circulation in meaningful numbers. But the 1958 example seems different. Evidence suggests the die was used briefly, then removed, destroyed, or lost. The exact story remains uncertain, and that mystery only deepens its allure. Every confirmed example is carefully studied. Each coin becomes a documented piece of evidence, proof that for a brief moment, an extraordinary die existed inside the mint. When collectors encounter one, they are not just seeing a coin. They are witnessing an accident frozen in metal. The defining feature of this coin is bold doubling across the entire obverse. The motto appears strong and separated. The word liberty looks thick and powerful. The numbers of the date seem almost layered. Unlike mechanical doubling, which looks flat and shelf-like, true double die features are raised and fully formed. The design was engraved twice into the die itself. This is what makes the coin so visually compelling. Even someone unfamiliar with numismatics can see that something is different, something is wrong, and yet strangely beautiful. When authenticated examples appear at auction, they command extraordinary prices. What began as a 1-cent coin becomes a treasure worth tens of thousands of dollars. But its true value is not only financial. It represents the precision of minting technology, the unpredictability of production, and the fragile boundary between routine manufacture and historical rarity. It is proof that even in an age of industrial efficiency, perfection is never guaranteed. What makes this coin truly captivating is not just its rarity, but its story of survival. Somewhere, Decades ago, a coin passed through hands that never noticed its secret. It may have been spent in a shop, stored in a jar, or forgotten in a drawer. And yet it endured. Today, when collectors hold a genuine 1958 double-die Obverse cent, they are not just holding copper. They are holding a moment of chance, preserved against time. Before any rare coin becomes a discovery, it must survive doubt. Collectors know that excitement can be misleading. Light can create illusions. Wear can distort shapes. And common minting effects can imitate rarity. That is why every serious examination begins with patience, careful observation, and disciplined verification. A true double die does not rely on angles, imagination, or wishful thinking. Its features remain bold, consistent, and unmistakable under proper inspection. The difference between a valuable error and an ordinary coin is not hope. It is evidence. This is the moment where curiosity meets proof, where a simple test can confirm whether history is truly in your hands. Fast at-home checks, before you celebrate. Use a 10 times loop and tilt the coin under a single light. True doubling stays crisp at every angle. Compare letter thickness. On real DDOs, letters look fat and split, not blurry. Weigh it. Around 3.11 g for a normal copper cent. Wrong weight suggests damage or a different issue. Rule out machine doubling. Machine doubling looks shelf-like and flat, usually on one side of letters. History is not always written in grand monuments or historic documents. Sometimes, it is struck quietly, accidentally, onto a coin no one was meant to notice. The 1958 double-die Obverse cent reminds us that rarity is not always planned. Value is not always intentional. And sometimes, the smallest objects carry the most extraordinary stories. A single cent. A fleeting mistake. A legacy that refuses to fade. And that is why this coin will forever remain one of the most fascinating survivors in American numismatics.